Okay, so let's talk about the differences between the TI-84 Plus C and the TI Inspires. I am running emulators right now, which are programs on a computer that emulate the functionality of a calculator. So you'll see the calculator over on the left, and then you'll see the screen output on the right. So, and I'm going to talk about the graphing differences right now. The graphical differences for the TI-84 Plus C, or excuse me, not the differences, the characteristics. We would type, let's say we typed in one function in the blue, one function in the red, and you hit graph. Well, now we have two colors. Students with the intuition part can now see, oh, with a plus 10, that's going to have a higher intercept than the red one. Before, we would have to bold one of the lines on our non-color calculator screen, so this is a much needed addition. However, the CAS system, you can see, has everything all on one page. We can actually go to the graphing list, and we can see that this is 2x plus 8, and F1 is going to be 2x plus 10. And this is all labeled right here on the screen, which is great. I don't have to go back and push y equals to get there. And in fact, to get to this graphing screen, instead of finding a y equals button, you just literally hit the graphing tool. So this is very, very intuitive. In fact, why I say that these are going to help with intuition is I can actually move these graphs and see in real time how they affect certain things, such as the y-intercept. So if I moved it down, I can actually see the y-intercept change in real time. I can, in fact, change the slope as well, and the slope changes. There's no way I can do that on the TI-84. In fact, I can't click on anything over here because it's not mouse enabled. Over here, students can use their thumb on this trackpad, and it actually would showcase the mouse moving over here. Let's talk about statistical differences. Back in the old days with this brand new calculator, even though it's running on old software, we'd have to push stat, edit. I'd type in a huge number of things into the list. I'd do stat, calculate, one var stats, which is a bunch of gibbly, goop for kids to try to sift through. I'd sit calculate, and it would come up in this language. I'd have my mean up here. I'd have my summation. I'd have my quartiles down here. With the Nspire, I can just and I can click on a new document. Notice how it's very computer friendly. In fact, there's hotkeys. So the kids can actually learn this to increase their efficiency. I can actually just push Control N. You can see that it went over there, and I can say new document. Now, graphs, I want a spreadsheet, and I can type in 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to hit menu, statistics, and it's right here, stat calculations, one variable statistics. It's very intuitive. It's much more user-friendly than trying to go through all these menus. Let's notice some calculus differences. That's my course that I teach right now. In terms of calculus, I would have to push math. Let's take a derivative at a point. I'd have to go down to 8. Notice how it's it's not very efficient. I'm going to push nderive, and I can say I want to take the derivative of 2x at 3. So the answer is going to be 2. So we can see that the answer is 2. Now, these new calculators do have this new math type software that's involved. The old 84s actually do not have that functionality I said math print. I'm sorry, I said math type, I meant math print. But if we went back to the classic, which most calculators have, and we did nderive on, let's say, 2x, notice how I have to do all of this. I have to set parameters. I have to tell what variable it sets for. Now the answer is still going to be 2, and if I put it back into the math type mode, it would be fine. But this is another reason to jump up. Nobody understands this. This does not look like it does in the classroom, but if you jump over to the Nspires, and I'm going to push this calculator button to open up a scratch pad, I'm going to push menu. Notice how whatever class you want, I'm doing calculus, and I want a derivative at a point. It's not called nderive. It's called derivative at a point. This is going to speed processes up. It's called integral. If you wanted to do an integral over here, you're going to have to go math, and you're going to have to do fn int on number 9. It's just not as intuitive. A student, without knowing that they wanted to do that, is going to have to ask the teacher. Instead, a student can come over here and say, oh, I want to take the integral, or oh, I want to take the derivative at a point. Let's say I wanted to do the variable as x and the value is 2, and I wanted to take the first derivative of, 2x squared plus 4. And notice how On the old school calculators, I would not be able, MathPrint would show it on the TI-84 Plus C, but all the other calculators would not be able to show that I accidentally screwed this problem up. My +4, I don't want it to be up in the exponent. So I'm going to move down and I'm going to put +4 down here. That should be good. So my answer should be, if I'm doing this correctly, 8, and it's going to show 8 over here. On the other calculator, it would be very hard to show that. It's just more intuitive on this Nspire. So last but not least, let's showcase the computer algebra system. And I'm making this video quite quick, but I believe I'm showcasing many of the issues that the old school calculators are facing. So if I wanted to solve something like 2x plus 10 equals 30. There's no equal sign on this calculator. Certainly there's an enter button and it's going to say that this is 30. That means that x is stored in as 10. So kids all the time will sit here and say, all right, well, what's 6x plus 4? Well, then they'll go 6x plus 4, and this is going to give them 64. And kids have no idea that the calculator stored 10 in as a random number. On the CAS system, let's go to the scratch pad. This is absolutely amazing what this can do. So let's say we're doing algebra and we wanted to solve for 2x plus 10 equals 30. And we wanted it to solve for x. So we want to solve for x. So we're going to put in our parameter, comma x, and we say enter, and it immediately says x equals 10. If you wanted to factor something, let's say we wanted to factor 2x squared plus 4x plus 6, and it would factor out a 2 for us. The algebra systems or the computer algebra calculations that this can do is absolutely amazing. And anything that you could possibly want for any subject is right here. If you're in AP Statistics, it's right here. You are in probability, you're in calculus, anything you wanted to do. Algebra, everything's menu driven. It's much more user intuitive than trying to sift through this. If you wanted to get to a class, where would you go? You would hit math, and I don't even know where to find most of this stuff. If we went over to probability, there's statistics, but it's not in user-friendly language. NPR and NCR. Teachers know how to do this. We know how to do this. We know what all these things mean. We know what factorial is. But how would a student know that? How would they know that an exclamation point is a factorial? And yes, we have to instruct them. I understand that other side of the argument. However, doing so over here, getting zeros, factoring, expanding, it's just much more user intuitive. We can save time instead of trying to go through these things. So that was just a couple of differences between the two calculators, which I think showcase just the powerful nature of the TI Nspire CAS system, why we need to use that over top of the TI-84s. Yes, this is a new calculator as well. However, it's just a heavily modified version of the calculator that was introduced in 1999. We need to push this outside of not only our school, but we need to push it to the state, and we need to push it nationally. Teachers need to stop being complacent with their technology, and we need to upgrade to bigger and better things. The 15% increase in just single student achievement alone is enough to showcase the absolute importance of this.